Hello everyone, my name is Andrea Thomas. This is my student portfolio that I completed. I observed my student Stella and she is 4. So here is my table of contents. As you can see here, has everything laid out based on what my topic is. So here I have my milestones for children at the age of 4, and this basically has the different domains. So you have social emotional milestones, language and communication, cognitive and physical development milestones. And this is just basically saying where children should be at, like the level the children should be at their age. So this is for the parents. I put this first so that parents can get an idea of what their child's age should be doing, like some of the things they should be able to do. On the next page, this is also for parents. This is part 2 of the milestones. It's just saying what parents can do to help their children learn at home and grow and to improve. So after that, I'd like to go straight into the different domains and where their child is based on these domains. Here I have physical development, and my focus right now is fine motor skills. On the top, so right here, I like to give a brief opening, like a background of what fine motor skills are and what the domains are, and some of the activities that focuses on these different domains. So here you have a rainbow. So Stella drew a rainbow. On May 23rd, Stella was able to take the tops off different color markers and put them back on as she drew a rainbow. So that represents fine motor skills because she's grabbing, she's twisting, she's pulling. And on June 6th, she was able to safely use scissors to cut drawings out of construction paper. So you have 2 examples of fine motor skills. So you can see right here the color pencils, and you see her with scissors in her hands cutting paper. So what she did was she drew the pictures on the construction paper, and then she used scissors to cut them out. So there's 2 perfect examples of fine motor skills. Next, I'm going to be talking about gross motor skills. So as you can see here, June 5th, during group time, the children were singing, and the children had to follow the body gestures and the words to hands, shoulders, knees, and toes at a high speed. And Stella was able to do that. She was able to maintain the coordination and her balance while performing the full body gestures at a really high speed. And on June 8th, while Stella was riding a tricycle, she was able to change directions and increase her speed to catch up to her friends. As you can see, that's the bike that she rode. Next, I am going to be talking about cognitive development, her cognitive development. Here you can see different shapes and you can see different numbers. So these are number puzzles. But onto the shapes. June 1st, Stella traced along the lines of the shapes that you can see right here by finger painting. She was able to identify all the shapes as you see on the paper. So we have a square, triangle, or rectangle. We have a circle, an oval, and a rhombus. And on June 7th, Stella and a teacher participated in a number puzzle. Stella was able to match the puzzle pieces to numbers 4 and 3. As she searched for the pieces, she counted the pictures on one half of the puzzle to see if they matched the number shown on the other half. So I hope you can see it really well. So as you can see, one half says the number and then the other half says the pictures. So in order to find that, she exhibited problem solving by counting to match the correct pieces. Next, I have her language and literacy development. So as you can see in both pictures, she's writing something. So May 31st, Stella was able to trace her name by painting. Can't really tell, but it's a Q-tip. She was able to recognize all of the letters of her name. The only thing is that she spelled her name Slltea. And on June 5th, Stella was also working on letter recognition. And she's matching uppercase letters with the lowercase letters. So you cannot really tell, unfortunately, but she was able to match the letters A and I. And over here, she's crossing out the letters that she was able to match. So that's what she was doing. And last but not least, her social and emotional development. On June 16th, it says, when another student called Stella ugly, Stella retaliates by calling her ugly. She says, Margarita called me ugly first, so I called her ugly. And on June 8th, during lunchtime, a peer was unable to open his milk, so Stella offered to open the milk for him. She said, here, I can help. So as you can see here, in the first example, she was able to express her reasonings for said actions. And right here, she was able to recognize that a peer needed help, and she offered on her own to help that peer with said problem without a teacher asking her to do it. And here is my summary. I won't go over the whole thing, but I just want you to take a look at what I have for each domain. Like I can say for language and literacy, she can trace and identify the letters in her name, and she's introduced to matching uppercase and lowercase letters. So one thing she's working on, or two things she's working on, is spelling her name in the correct order and working on recognizing more letters in her alphabet. And social emotional, I can say that she's able to recognize when people need help, and she's lending a helping hand, no problem, without a teacher. And like I said before, she's very outspoken and can explain reasonings behind her actions. She often uses facial expressions, so she'll show a mad face if she's mad, or a sad face, or a happy face, based on whatever she's feeling. But one thing she's working on is to resolve conflicts without needing teacher's assistance or without retaliating. I should have put that in the summary. So basically, if the child is being mean to her consistently, she's learning to walk away, to keep from retaliating, to keep from getting her in trouble. And she's also working on using words to communicate her feelings instead of just the facial expressions. So for example, that's like saying, I was sad because such and such made me mad, or this and that makes me happy. So she's working on expressing herself that way. And for my assessment tool, here is my DRDP packet. This is just, I put it back here for the sake of the video, but if I were to present a child portfolio to a parent, this is what I would reference. So this is just to show parents in further detail where their child is and what the next stepping stone is. And another thing I want to point out is that oftentimes when you're lesson planning and figuring out activities, you will see that activities have more, or they tackle more than one domain. So cognitive, she finger painted and traced the shapes. That would classify as a fine motor skill because she's using her finger to paint. And let me see. And as you can see here where it says she said Margarita called me ugly first, so I called her ugly. So she used the complete sentence. This is in the social emotional development. If I was to take notes on DRDPs, this will also classify as a LLD, language and literacy development, because she's using expressive language and she spoke in a complete sentence. And right here, I remember this day when I observed her. She only offered to help. The teacher basically told her, I want to see the peer do it by himself. I want to see him open his own milk. Now, if she did open the milk for him, that would also classify as a fine motor skill. So that would fit in the physical domain because she's using her fingers to unfold and she's pulling up the folds to open the milk. So that's just an example, just a few examples of how lesson plans and activities can fit more than one domain. Just a tip for all future teachers out there. So that is my portfolio. I hope what I said at the end, the information I gave, was very helpful for some of you. And I also want to extend a thank you to all of you for taking the time to listen to my presentation. Thank you and goodbye.